Hello friends and subscribers. It's a beautiful weekend in the mid-Atlantic. Today I'm working on a lot of stuff for Shipwrecked. I wanted to give you an update. So I actually have a lot of books of my own that I was able to pull from. If you look behind me here, you can see I've got quite a nice collection of books. This isn't all of them. Some of them are in boxes. These ones are stacked too deep. But I want to take you downstairs to show you some of the unique ways I had to put stuff together to do research for this book. I'm putting together this weekend, when you write a nonfiction book and you're pursuing literary agents and serious publishers, you know, they have you fill out this pro forma paperwork that literally covers every detail, you know, and it makes sense. You know, people think, oh, I'll just give it to them. They'll invest all the money and all the work. And that's not true. They want to know how you're going to invest the time, how you're going to invest the money. How many books do you think you can sell and why? Where? Where are you going to go talk about this? Where are you going to get speaking engagements? I mean, there's so many different details. Forgive this part, because as I show you the research, I'm going to have to move the camera around a little bit. But on my desk there, I've spread out some of it. I mean, this is a quarter of what it takes to write a book of that detail, right? Because remember, some of it I did the research at the Fred W. Smith Library at Mount Vernon. I did some at Pope's Creek, the Birthplace, but they really didn't have much there. The book they had there was Francis Gray talking about the rebellion in Maryland, which is important, but it wasn't like, you know, enough to warrant sitting down there, you know. And Ferry Farm, you know, didn't have really that Fred W. Smith Research Library in Mount Vernon is heaven. It's heaven. It's really what it is. It's an amazing place. So anyway, let me show you some of this cool stuff. I had to sometimes, this is John's family tree. And there are so many Lawrences and Anns and Johns that if you don't, you know, find a way to get all this stuff written out, it's impossible to keep track of who's who and who married who and why. This here is the infamous piece of long paper that I've talked about in other videos. And let me lay it down here on the ground and show you. On one end, on the top, it's got, you know, just like historical fact. This date, on that date, this and that happened. And then on the bottom, it has you know, when other stuff occurred. So I don't know if you can get an appreciation for how long this piece of paper is, but it's got all, you know, notes on top, notes on bottom. It's just amazing, amazing. And I also put together a map. I had to, because one of the questions I was trying to solve is one of the primary sources talked about how long it took to get to Jamestown by skiff. And when I used modern Google stuff, it was like not adding up. So I made this map that covers, you know, the entire Pope's Creek area, both sides. Covers the extent of John's land, John Washington's land, where he owned it, where it was. George. Now, you know, it's funny. One of the talks I'm putting together, I started off this way. I say, I want to tell you today about an important character in history. He befriended a man named Nathaniel Pope. When his ship wrecked, Nathaniel Pope took him under his wing and helped him out. He ended up settling in Virginia and becoming a prominent landowner and a popular name. Can you tell me who that person is? And everyone's going to say, of course, Washington. And I'm going to say, no. George Whedon. Because George Whedon was another individual on the Seahorse of London who ended up staying in Virginia. He ended up getting land right near John. And, you know, had a Whedon become the first president of the United States, we might be having a conversation about Whedon, but John Washington is obviously George's great-grandfather. Interestingly, the Whedon family ended up settling a little further out near Fredericksburg, and later they stayed friends with the Washingtons. Later, during Augustine's time, the Whedons had an inn, and they had given the Washingtons food in perpetuity, free food in perpetuity I think, I can't remember if it's because the Whedons rented the space that The Ordinary was run out of, or if it was something else entirely. But in Shipwrecked in the Land of King Tobacco, there's a similar story that happens with the Washingtons and the Lewis Markham family, right? So anyway, it's a beautiful process. The questions, I mean, word count, page count, formatting is important. How you're going to market, describing each chapter and what's in it, finding out who your target audience is for the book. I mean, the level of details asked in these questions, and then following submission guidelines. And I've already learned that one of the things that some of the literary agents are looking for is just that you can follow the simple instructions of, that they lay out for you as far as how they want their stuff submitted. So, long process, but I've been inspired by a few people in my life very important to me, mentors, who have given me feedback in such a way that it's inspired me to believe that if I want something to happen with this book different than the past, where I self-publish and put it out, if I want to go that more conventional route, I got to be willing to pay the price, put in the time, set the goals, and do the work. And I'm finding that as I go through it, it's getting easier. I can. The idea of selling 20,000 books and putting that on paper and saying, how am I going to do this, seems impossible. But once you actually start to crunch the numbers, it becomes possible. And you go, wow, you know what? I think I might be able to do this. So it could be not a matter of luck. It could be, did the author take the time to do precisely what I'm doing now? And that's how you get noticed, you know? Anyway, I'm working hard on it. I haven't put out a video in like a week, and I apologize for that. We're in the process of doing videos on just tell me the truth about the future of Christianity. And we finished up talking about doctrine, right? The source of authority over doctrine. And we're going to start on a new chapter. I'll get some videos out for you this week. My schedule's clearing up. And I have put out a question via like a little poll. If you could please go answer that question, it would be extremely helpful for me. One of the things I'm trying to determine is, do you as my subscribers want me to split the Shipwrecked in the Land of King Tobacco stuff off and put it on another channel? That's something I'm weighing. Should that have its own other content? Because, think about how contentious some of the material we talk about is when we talk about religion and Christianity. Should this all be grouped together, or should perhaps Shipwrecked have separate social media stuff altogether? I don't want to lose the numbers we have, but I also want to do what's right in the long run. So anyway, thinking of you guys each day, praying for you. I hope you're praying for me. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.